Hey everyone, Andy here, and today I'm checking out the Odyssey7Q Plus from Convergent Design. If you've been following all the updates to the Odyssey, you know that Convergent Design has been releasing many new firmware updates that enable tons of new features for the system. So I really wanted to go through some of these new updates, some of the key ones, and there's so many that it's actually going to be over a series of short videos. In this first video, I want to focus on some of the new monitoring tools that they have added, features that are really great for DITs or really for anyone using a digital cinema camera like this Sony FS7 here, which has a log and a RAW mode. So let's go through those features really quick, and then on the next videos we'll talk about RAW and multi-screen viewing, etc. So first up is lookup table support. So lookup tables allow you to sort of adjust the color and contrast of the output of your camera for monitoring on set while still recording in a log, flat, or raw mode for the most dynamic range and best quality data. So lookup table support was added fairly recently, but really expanded upon over time. If you click on the LUT button here for lookup table, you'll see that I'll get my log image, which is coming out of the camera, S-Log3. Is now very contrasty and colorful. This is a basic lookup table for S-Log3 that is applied. The Odyssey has tons of built-in lookup tables for a variety of cameras, from Arri to Blackmagic, Canon, Panasonic, Red. There's a lot of options here, and of course Sony, and I selected a S-Log3 Cine Gamma, which matches my camera, and it converts it to a 709 type look, right? So that's the S-Log3C L709 preset LUT. Of course, you could also choose to import a LUT down here from an SSD. To do that, I go into Post, so say Resolve or another tool, and create a 3D lookup table, and then use Convergent Design's tool to convert that into a format that the Odyssey likes. Put that file that you made onto an SSD, and then bring it here. Basically, this is a method to create and import a variety of LUTs. Put it in there, and then I can actually put it into a folder structure fairly easily. And off I go. I have my own custom setups that way. I can also choose to apply these lookup tables to a variety of different outputs. So there's a button here, which you see on there now, this custom outputs button here, right there, that is. And this allows me to say, well, I want to see the lookup table on the Odyssey itself. Maybe I don't want it to be on different outputs. So I can choose SDIA, SDIB, or HDMI outputs and say, I do or do not want those LUTs applied there. So this is great for on-set use if I say I want to have a LUT applied to a monitor for a director or for anyone on set that wants to see a LUTed image, but have a clean signal going somewhere else to a different monitor for understanding that. Last thing there is the monitoring tools option, right? So monitoring tools monitoring tools option allows you to apply the LUT sort of before or after those tools that you have built in the Odyssey. So let's say you're using a waveform or a vectorscope here. You may not want to be monitoring those scopes with a LUTed image with a LUT already applied, so you could choose to see it with or without the LUT. This is an important option just to understand what you're really recording in the Odyssey, but maybe while still seeing a LUT, right? So very key option there. And I sort of hinted at it before, but the next thing that I like that they've added is the vectorscope, right? So the vectorscope was kind of recently added. They've had different scopes like waveforms and histograms for some time now, but vectorscope for us guys who like to match cameras, sort of old school, or anyone using analysis between multiple cameras, vectorscope is pretty key. Hit vectorscope there, and you can see I have a full screen vectorscope now. Another thing I like about this is you can actually scale up that scope just by waving your finger up and down. If you're using, this is 1x, and I can go up to, well, many x there. I'll leave it at 2 because I'm using a DSC Labs color chart here, which suggests a 2x gain on my scope to properly analyze the color. So this is the mode that I'm in. And if you hold that vectorscope button down here, you have many options for adjusting the scope, making it not full screen, for instance, adding different options on the screen as well. And then I want to draw your attention to this area here called More Tools. if you've turned your Odyssey on, update the firmware, and you don't see the vector scope, to enable it, you just hold any one of these little buttons down at the bottom here, you know, spot, meter, waveform, false color, hold those down, and you can choose to turn on the different options here, and there's more tools. So I've selected vector scope versus histogram, so I see that option there. All right, so that's the vector scope thing. Let's go now to the last thing that's just added, called the spot meter. The spot meter allows you to select 2 different color regions, very specific small areas of the image, and analyze them for brightness as well as color, right? So I can choose to, say, select this B and put it on a green color here, and select A and put it on black, and then I can see the brightness relative, 10% for black, 64% for green here, and then the color ranges for each. So this is a great option for analyzing, again, 2 colors in the same image. It's amazing to me that they've added these great tools into the Odyssey, things that really were only in high-end scopes before, so great to see that they put those in there as well. All right, so those are the big three monitoring tools they've added: lookup tables, vector scope, spot meter. That's in addition to false color, zebras, waveforms. I mean, it's all in there. In the next section, we'll talk about new RAW options, including high-speed RAW recording from the FS7, as well as Canon Raw. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next time.